So you're welcome once again this afternoon. How many of you were here yesterday? Can I just see your hands? A lot of us. Okay, so you're practically a little bit used to my style, okay? And I try to be as free as possible, which I would expect you to be. Only a few things from yesterday that your mind will go back to once we're having this. Also, in my sessions, I always say that I try my best to make sure they're interactive. This cannot be the total setting of how I would have loved it to be because of space. But usually I interrupt my discussions or my training to get the pace for every single profession on this earth. We are the ones that chart the course for the future of any country. Every country that gives teachers the wherewithal, the competence, and the value that they require are the companies that have become top today. Sometimes you wonder why you see Chinese students almost everywhere in the world. It's not because China has a population of over 1 billion. That's not the reason. It's because they understood that many years ago, 30, 40 years ago, they were not in first world, they were not a first world country. They were not an economical giant in the world. They were not. But they knew that we must teach our children well. So these children, they send them to school, they equip the teachers. You see, the culture of China is this. In their hierarchy of law and order, it's first of all, they are gods. You know, there are plenty gods there. They are gods, first of all. But after their God comes teachers. Not even parents. Teachers. Their parents. And that's why the parents will tell the child, this is what your teacher has done, and the child will respond because they know that teacher is. And with that attitude and that responsibility, they want to say something, they just smile. Because America is not the superpower of the world again today. You may think they are, but they are not. Right? But any country that focuses on the value of their teachers, the education of the children, the strength of their schools, are the countries that make it in the future. So if we want our country to be where we should be in a few years' time, or wherever we're coming from, whatever country we're coming from, we have to begin to consider this particular topic. Because school cannot be done anyway again. It can't be. There must be a culture and understanding of excellence in school. There's a reason why some of us don't bank with some banks. It's not as if that bank is not standing though. But sometimes when you enter that bank and you see the way the bank is, you shake. In fact, sometimes in the past when they give you a check to go to that bank, you start complaining. Because you know that bank and you know how the bank is. School effectiveness, school growth. It establishes a quality of teachers that cannot joke around with the vision of the school when there's a culture of excellence. So let's jump right into it, okay? Look at this. I don't know if you can see this right from the back. You can? Okay. And my question there is ponder on this and what comes to mind. Look at the picture very carefully. What comes to your mind? And I would like someone to say to the rest of us, what comes to your mind when you see that picture? What are the things you can notice? What seems wonderful? What seems strange? Who would like to try and say? I mean, say whatever you think. That it's not an exam, okay? Ah, wonderful. Can you? Okay, can say a what? Poor workmanship there. Okay, how?
Because when the line was coming from up there, because of just that tree trunk, that somebody supposed to just believe, if I can just borrow that word, he moved inside and curved the line around so that, and that is an obstruction that can also affect the traffic because that's the road.
Ah, wonderful, wonderful. Fast for him now, come on. He can obstruct traffic. One more person, anybody else that wants to say something different from what he said, okay? Yes, ma'am, please.
I saw I don't care attitude there.
Ah.
Just like what most of
and
us.
I don't care attitude.
Most of us do in the school. Maybe a teacher will see there is no water, just for you to call somebody to fetch the water there or one thing or the other. After all, it's not my job. You see that and just forget it.
I just forget it.
I don't care attitude. It's not my business.
It's not my business. Wonderful. Clap for her. Lovely. Lovely. Okay, because of time, I won't take any much more, but I know you can see there's. So let me even ask one question before I talk about it. Which one came first then? That white line or the tree? Of course, you think, I mean, it won't be that someone comes it and the tree decided to fall inside it. Of course not. The tree was there first, and the person said, it's not my business. After all, the tree is there, I will not move this tree. I would rather move the line around the tree. But that is a very, very unprofessional attitude. A culture that has no excellence. And you cannot see the bottom of it there. There's a phrase there that says, that's not my job. And that is sometimes the culture in some schools. I know yesterday I spoke about job description. Everybody knows where their responsibilities lie. But when you're talking about a culture of excellence, anything that is done wrongly, that is out of place in the school, you first of all ask, why is this like this? Not who is supposed to be in charge. Okay? Because yes, someone is probably in charge of it, but it is being done wrongly. So why is it being done wrongly? A culture of excellence is not the kind that says it's not my job, it's someone else's job. No. Your job is to ensure that everything goes on well in the school, whether it's within your classroom or without. Now some people may think, okay, well, some people will say, I too know. Obasabi, I'm sure some of you have heard that. Her own is always too much. His own is always too much. He wants to always do more. Just smile and look at them. It's because of always wanting to do more and being Obasabi that I'm standing there today. Okay? Let them say Obasabi. It's in your mind, it is not Obasabi, it's excellence. I can't see this thing being done wrongly. And I'll keep quiet and say it's not my job. No! But you see, it starts from somewhere. So, fostering a culture of excellence. Fostering, what does it actually mean? What does it actually mean? Who wants to just tell us? What one word? Any other phrase or word for foster? Nurture, okay. Nurture in part. Very good. Has this microphone gone a bit lower? Or is this me that? Okay. Let me try that other one. Okay, to develop and to keep alive. To develop and to keep alive. And when I mean prosperous, I mean growing. It's because there's hardly a culture of development in that school. And when we talk about development, we don't only mean the development of the infrastructure. Alright? If you're a school owner or the head of the school or in management in any school, let me say it right here. The structures and infrastructures of a school are at the lowest level of development in any school. They are vitally important, but they are not the highest level. It's not the building that keeps parents in school. It is not the building. There are buildings that are supersonically built. There are schools that, wow, you enter the place and, I would love my child to go here. But then you make some inquiries, you talk to some teachers and you quickly run out of that school. Because you know if your child is there for just one term, that child that left your house by saying supersonic, will start saying supersonic. Just because of the school. Okay, so buildings are important, but to develop a school, the primary people you should develop are who? Your teachers, of course. Because the teachers are the genuine, authentic, gold quality of any school. They are the tools of the kitchen, the teachers. So fostering in a school must have an attitude of development of their staff, teachers and non-teaching staff. And then to keep alive. Sometimes there's a reason why some schools go down and are not going higher. Okay, because certain things are not being kept alive in the school. Now, we have come to the stage whereby we understand that the fact that your school has been around for 60 years does not mean that it will be around for the next 60 years. Especially with the way education is going now. Because a lot of parents are very, very sharp and smart. Now, a lot of parents know what they want for their children. So you can't bamboozle them. I've been in a school, and I will not tell you the name of the school, even though you have mentioned all the schools I've worked with. I've been in a school that has been around for over 60 years by the time I started with them. And a crisis happened in the school, which was not handled well. And almost 25 to 30% of them left. Parents. They took their expatriate children as well. What most of us may call Uibo children. Okay? And the school had to start to develop necessary things. And of course now they're doing wonderfully well. But if they did it, It would have been very, very serious. So you see that the school has been going on for long, does not mean it will continue to go on for long. There must be some fostering. Calculated, measured, consistent, and persistent. Okay? Calculated, measured, consistent, and persistent. Fostering. It's not anything, it's not okay, we'll do it like this one day. Tomorrow we don't have to do it like this. No. Let us still be looking at the cash power. No, it's not, we're not looking at it. We must work it. We must work it. Unless you're passionate like that, you'll probably be going down. But I'm sure the fact that all of us are here today makes us certain that we are passionate about it. Culture. So it's fostering a culture of excellence. The culture. The way of life, ethos of your school. How many of you have heard of that word before? Ethos. We like some of these terms. It's simply this culture as well, okay? The way of doing things. The mindset. So, the ethos is a palpable. That means it can be felt. It can be seen of an organization. There are some places, some schools you go into and you can feel the learning that is going on. You can actually taste the culture that is there. Many years ago, I mean, I have two children. My daughter is going to be 21 next month. My son is 17 and a half. He'll soon be 18. When my daughter was in year 9, she was going to year 10. I said I would love her to be in boarding house. She was in Lagos. But there are a lot of boarding house schools in Lagos that I wasn't too confident and comfortable with. Okay? So one of these educational fairs, the school came from Kwara State, and they were making a presentation, and it was happening on a Saturday. Now that Saturday, because I'm the kind of person I am, Saturday sometimes for me is reserved for football, especially if my team is playing. So my wife knows that on Saturday, don't disturb me, okay? But they were having this education fair on Saturday, and she went for it. And then she saw this school and said, she must call me wherever I am. So she called me. When I saw her number, I was like, what is it? I'm trying to engage myself with this football, okay? But then she called several times again, and sometimes we men must know that when your wife is calling sometimes, better pick up that phone. You never know what's going on, okay? We pray to always something good. But okay, I picked, he said that there's a school here. You must come and see them. I said, where is the school? She said the choir said, Kwara. My daughter is not going out of Lagos State. She now said I must come. So I now went there, and ended the match, wherever the match was, went there. As soon as I got to the school stand, there were some students from the school. And they started speaking. I was like, what's going on there? These students are very sound. I engaged some of them in conversation. They seem very responsible. Then the principal was there. He was an expert in the white man. But there was this old school white man, like a sergeant major. He knew what education was. Okay, and then the vice principal was there as well. After talking with them for 45 minutes, I said, I'm almost convinced. One more thing was left. I must go to that school. Because I have only 2 children. I'm not giving my child to anybody to rubbish. So I took a drive myself about 4.5 hours, went down there. As soon as I drove into the school, I was almost convinced. The buildings, the way the children were walking around, respectful. As I saw down, and every child, and I'm not exaggerating, every child that saw me greeted me. First of all, without me saying anything. And I've come from a culture in Lagos where you have to beg them to drink sometimes. These children. I say, you're welcome, sir. I went to the library. I went around the school, met the principal eventually. He discussed with him, and I was convinced. Because I could feel an atmosphere that was very, very strong. And I sent my daughter there with my son there, and their life transformed. One term, they came back from after one term. It was not the same children. My daughter, that her room will be upside down. To tell her to do anything at all, it is fight. She was the one that was doing all the things, walking out in the kitchen. She was just about 14 at that time, but very lazy before she went to that school. Came back and was totally on top of her responsibility. And then maths that she used to fail before, she started getting 50-something in maths. I went there and said, maybe it is by luck. The next time she got 60-something, maybe the maths is let me see your question paper. I saw hard maths. So I asked her, is it not the same maths you were teaching in the other school? And I said, the way the teacher teaches it is different. So that was enough to convince me. Okay? So there was an atmosphere that could be felt in that school. A strong atmosphere. So now that she's in the university outside, the responsibility, the maturity that she has developed, the school was important. So a school must develop that atmosphere, that attitude amongst your staff. It must be developed. It's not anything goes. No. You consciously train, develop, and then you show. You show it. So, a way of thinking that guides everything that is done. A way of thinking that guides everything that is done. That is ethos. No matter what is being done in the school, everybody, right from the nanny, the cleaner, to the head teacher, there's a way they are thinking. Let's take just one simple aspect of school, child care, and the way we talk to children, we think. So even if the child wants to be upside down and wants to be a terror, there are other ways of classroom management to deal with it. Rather than deciding to slap the child several times, pull the child's hair, and then call the child stupid or the child is a fool, or you must be mad. I've heard a teacher say that before. You must be mad. But you see, an ethos is the way of thinking that guides everything that's done. So even up to the way children are spoken to, there's a way. And you see, it's not only for management, also teachers. You dictate that pace. You see, gone are the days that we should shy away from fellow teachers saying that we want to do everything. Ignore them. They didn't give birth to you, even if both of your names are Taiwan, Ikeja. One of you came into the hall first before the other. Okay? And none of us will go out at the same time. Who knows? It's only God that knows. You know where your career is going. You know what you want with education. So you have to ensure you develop that culture by yourself. Don't wait for anybody. Because it's an automatic thing. Once it is developed, it's automatic. Your listening is automatic. Very automatic. So, excellence. What's our definition of excellence? Who can chip in here? Our definition of excellence. Anyone? What's your own definition of excellence?
A superior of a greatness towards one.
A superior or greatness towards one. Okay. Anybody else? Yes? Outstanding. Oh, good. I like that. Any other word? Sorry? Perfection. Anybody else? Yes. Just one more. Superb. Good. So we talk about superb, outstanding, superior, and then there was one other word. Perfection, distinction. Yes. Now when we think about all of that, and we want to bring that in our schools, do we feel that our schools are already at that level? Because you have an attitude in your mind. You have an attitude and a way of thinking that, okay, this is it. This is it. This is what I'm thinking of. This is how I want it to be. So, fostering a culture of excellence. Let's bring all the three together. Fostering, culture, and excellence. And let's come up with this. I don't know if we can we all read this together. 1, 2, go. We have the responsibility to consciously develop the right way of thinking that will produce an atmosphere, an attitude of getting things done rightly at all times within our school and education sector. Getting it done at all times in our school. And it's an attitude and it's a mindset. I know sometimes when you have some people, and this is for school owners and head teachers and management, when you have some people in your school that are not working according to your culture of excellence, just like I said yesterday, you ensure that you take them through an appraisal and performance management system. Because your first priority is to build them up to where you want them to be. So you do that. And then you will see that quite a few of them would change or would adjust themselves. But then at the same time, those that do not, what do we do? You let them go. But no, that's the fact, okay? And there's a saying, so where I call that, 20 children will not play together for 20 years. So maybe you were forced to come to our school for some time. After some time, I'm good. All right? But because of excellence in your school, there is a procedure. Let's stop all that nonsense of calling someone today and saying, you are sacked, bye-bye, here's your letter, and then you don't allow the gate man to allow them to into school tomorrow. What kind of attitude is that as a school owner or a teacher? Why? Or text letter, or talk less, or sending emails to someone and telling the person that do not to report the next thing. Hey, I hereby sacked with email. Let's stop all that nonsense. Let them go through a process. And if you have to give, if they've done something terrible that you have to sack them, there must be an employment letter that says you pay them in lieu. So pay them that money. Now someone says, but what if they want to do? You know, teachers, they can just disappear, which is true. They can disappear, which is terrible, but I don't want to start focus on that now. But that is terrible. The teachers owe you to pay you up if they are leaving before the expiry date of their employment, according to the terms of the employment. But if they don't, either you recourse to legal means or you leave and let them go. Because one of us must show that we are better. That is justice. One of us must show we are better. So if as a teacher you are owed money that they didn't pay you, especially when you have worked and they didn't pay you, believe me, do the necessary thing, send an email, complain, make known your concerns, but then leave it there. Because the role of fostering a culture of excellence in every school lies within the hands of school owners. School owners. Now, there are some school owners that are fully involved in their school. There are some school owners that take a back seat and are not that fully involved. So I will ask the question now, what do you think should be the best thing for school owners? Should they be fully involved or should they be behind the scenes? Let me have some comments. Fully involved. Any person that thinks otherwise? Okay, I can help behind the scenes as well here. But what do you think? It depends on the state of the school. Either be the fully involved, behind the scenes, but the state of the school will determine a lot of that. But as a school owner, it's important that you know that one, it's your baby, it's your vision. So you know how you want it to be done. Two, which is equally important, is you may not have the educational know-how to do it. So get out of the way and let those that have the educational know-how do it for you. Okay? Don't come in, jump into the school and just change things. You will add all kinds of things. Sack because the person didn't greet you in the morning. Increase this person's salary because I like the way she looks. The way she dressed today was very, very serious and nice. So let us add to her salary. Mr. Bossa, I need 200,000 naira. I know that there's that one assure me that I need to buy this weekend. Just bring it from there. As a school owner. No. You should not. So if you are a school owner and you have been trained and developed in education, then you should have some sense as to how it should be done. But still, it gets to a state that you cannot do it all by yourself. So you need trusted hands. So that fostering the culture of excellence, it lies with the school owners, yes, but also the heads of schools. Don't bring a head of school to your school that will rubbish the place for you. The person must have an idea and an insight into the way you are thinking, into what you want for your school. What's the vision? What's the mission? Have you taken the person through it? Have you been able to ask for the person to set certain targets? Or you set targets for the person that will conform to the excellence you have in mind? Okay? Don't allow someone to say, okay, we've been doing uniforms and we've been paying maybe $500,000 naira for uniforms. I found someone that can do it for 200,000. And you now go and look at that kind of uniform there. It's like nylon. It's so like it. But you just left the person alone to do it because as far as you are concerned, maybe you are behind the scenes, it's not your concern. Maybe they should know their job. No. The information that's going into your school. It's not resource of information of how someone dressed today. What kind of nonsense is that? No. It's information in terms of how some systems are working in your school, how policies are being followed, how people are following up the vision of your school. Not petty things. This teacher is angry without that parent. Do you know what happened over the weekend? If I tell you, and you are listening to that as a school owner, you have time. No. You don't, that's not the kind of information you want. But your head of school must be able to have that attitude of excellence. And again, of course, boards of management. And those boards of management include the head teacher, include the deputy head, it includes the school administrator, the key state leader or upper primary leader or lower primary leader or junior secondary or higher secondary leader. They are also involved in the board of management. They must be. And then you should also have the pastoral care manager. And when we say pastoral care, it's someone that has to do with the emotions feelings, and attitudes of children. We're not talking about someone praying from morning to night. As much as that is good, but pastoral care is caring in a pastoral way. Sorry? Like a counselor, and someone that is reachable, that person must be on the board of management. Because there's a buzz of something going on in your school that person must be able to feel. And if you have a passenger, he has a way of knowing what the children are feeling like. He knows how the attitude and relationship between children and teachers are. So he comes to the board meeting and gives an insight as to certain things we have to do that will bring about excellence in our school. So I mentioned the board of management, head teacher, deputy head, key stage leader, or upper primary, lower primary, upper secondary, lower secondary, depending on your school, and pastoral care manager has to be within your board of management. They always have to be there. So, having all of that, we must first establish policies. If you want to foster a culture of excellence, your school must have policies that guide the way things are done in your school. Policies. And when I say policy, it's not one or two sentences. It's our policy in this school to always come early in the morning. That's not a policy. That's not a policy. A policy would cover several areas in the school. Like, for example, there will be a teaching and learning, the content that you do, the way and manner you do your exams or your assessments, the way people are graded, all of that is in it. There are sections and there are subsections. When writing policies for schools, I always ask, okay, what are the things you have in mind? Because as I'm writing a policy for you, it has to be specific to what you have in mind. And then I can now add what needs to be there and discuss with you. So there has to be a behavioral policy, student leadership policy, health and safety policy. A school should not have less than 15 policies altogether. There are 15 basic, important, necessary policies that you must have in a school. But the policy ensures there's a culture of excellence. Because it's not just to have it as a document, but you have the you have the managers that are making sure that people follow it. There's a marking policy, there's a classroom display policy. Okay? So teachers will know that they cannot keep a display up in the class from September to July. What kind of lazy teacher is that? For you yourself, you don't have any display policy. So when you say, this display has been there for a long time now, don't you think you should change it? And the teacher looks at it and says, no, it's still helpful to me, I can leave it like that. No. But if you have a policy that states, classroom display policy, displays must be changed at least twice a term. So when you call the teacher and say, I've seen this last term and it's still here this term, are you not going to change it? And the teacher is wondering, what are you talking about? You bring out the policy. So according to our policy in this school, that is how you're fostering excellence. Because sometimes some people don't know what to do because they have not been told. So you must tell them through your policy and tell them loudly and clearly. Okay? And then they will know what to do. So, policy, and then the procedure is the way and manner those policies are handled, are done. Admissions policy will say when children are taken into the school, how old they should be in the school, what is the process, what days would you do assessment in your school for admission, okay, what is the criteria for a person to qualify to come into your school. Because there are some times at certain levels when you have certain people coming to your school, 2, 3, 4 years down the road, you begin to ask yourself why. Why did I allow this family into this school? Now, it's not as if I'm saying that education is not for everybody. Education is for everyone. But not everybody needs to be educated in your school. You must understand that. You have a vision, you have a plan, you know where you're going. There are some parents that do not want to go where you're going. So it's the policy that will fish them out from the beginning. When you ask certain questions at admission level, and you see the way they ask, you know there are some schools in Lagos that they will not take in a child unless mommy and daddy come for the interview. The standard. And you think, nobody will go to school. People are going there. They even have waiting lists. But they will not take in any child unless mommy and daddy come for the interview and they ask questions there. Because what we do in school is maybe very important, but what children do, what parents do at home is also important. So we must know what kind of parents that we are bringing into our school. Okay? Alright, so policies establish the order of excellence in our school. Alright? They ensure that we do things in the right way. They help ensure that anyone we employ fits into the mode of excellence we have created. So that is how you ensure from the beginning. You set a standard for your school by the policy. Alright? What else do we do? Develop a strong management structure. I spoke about that yesterday. A strong management structure will determine how the culture of excellence is carried on in your school. And when you have a strong management structure, you must give them a free hand. You must, at your own level, choose the right people. There are some teachers in a school that they may just be year one teacher, but they are strong enough to be the head of the whole of lower primary. Even though they just started your school last year, it doesn't matter. But you have seen the quality of what they are providing. And there are some people that are deputy that should go back to the classroom. They should not be any manager at all. Because they have been very silly and ridiculous as deputy heads. Have no clue as to what management should be doing. Totally far away and distant from everybody, every other teacher, and form themselves like a force. No shaking for the and they consider that a strong asset to have as a manager. Ridiculous. A manager must be able to come down to the level of a staff, know what is going on in the staff's life, even if the staff is not their child. For the manager, you see, your reach must go beyond, because teachers are doing something in your school that you can't do. So you must ensure that the things that concern the teachers, you have an understanding of what is going on. There's some teachers that you see them in the morning and you say, okay, you're not feeling too good, you're not looking too good today. You know what? Why don't you just go home or get someone else to cover for you? So managers suggest that the way they look at you, you know tomorrow query is coming. Anyway, have a strong management structure. I've been told that time is probably over. So I'll round up now. Equip trusted lieutenants that have an eye for excellence and are ready to follow through with whatever it takes with the authority to do so. So they are ready to follow through. You cannot do it all by yourself. You must have people that work with you. And you determine, and you direct, and you train, and you develop. Rid yourself of psychopaths and yes men or women who pander to you every week. Everything you say, they're yes ma'am, yes ma'am, yes sir, yes, You say one thing, they agree, then you change your mind, they agree again. No, I do not want to hear that as a manager. No, tell me if there's something that I want to do that is wrong. Tell me in a very respectful way, but tell me still, because I don't have all the understanding of the knowledge. So get lieutenants that do not just pander to every, that do not allow psychopaths, because there are some people in schools that they have some favorites. Everybody knows that. Well, let me not do that. I'll talk for long there. Have the ears of every support staff in your establishment and respect their perspectives on the what's going on in your school. Support staff. Do we know who support staff are? Okay, who are support staff? Okay, cleaners, nannies, even in the office staff as well, reprographers and all, support staff. They are vitally important to the culture of excellence in the school. The cleaner or nanny must understand that they have gone into the toilet. They have time they go into the toilet to clean now. Whether it's visitor's toilet or the children's toilet. They have a time frame that they mark it. You have people following through with that. Okay? Have the elders, because there are some things they see and hear that you will not know. So don't say that they are the bottom. They are not at the bottom. Everybody has their place. And they are equally important. Because all of us are contributing to culture in our school. They don't say someone is a security man and he's not just a security man. Let him allow one kidnapper into your school one day and you will know. For one terrorist, you will know whether it's just a security man. Okay? Alright. So most importantly,